train is running.
And I'll say Evan.
That's good. You score, but I don't have to.
It's a win.
All right, welcome. Good day. Happy Saturday. Welcome to Fins Talk today. I'm your host, Bobby Finstock, and that's the one and only Fish Tank Hank. What's up, Hank?
Yo,
What's up,
what
man?
is going on, Bobby?
Oh, man, there is so much to talk about.
I know, and I love it. I love it. I'm getting ready. You know, I've had a long week. My wife just retired. And hopefully next week we pay off the house.
That is so damn cool.
Yeah, we're going to actually be a retired couple.
Hey, that's all right. Hey, that is awesome. All that partying, you got to get extra partying now.
Yeah, I know. She's been partying.
Yeah, there you go. That's awesome. She deserves it. She deserves it. Hey, let me just welcome everyone who's watching, whether you're watching on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch. We appreciate you. If you're new to the channel, smash that like and subscribe button. Evan's in the house, host of the Fins Bandwagon. You've got Ender in the house. Vamonos. The two amigos are back. I love it. Thank you, Ender. Good to see you as always. Everybody tuning in. Man, we got a good show nonetheless coming on. We always got a good show every Saturday. But, man, there's a lot to talk about, even more now. You know, I added a couple things to our outline you were prepared for, but I know you're going to have plenty to say. And let's first start off. I had it as number 2, but I'm going to pop it to number 1 because it answers the questions. It kind of puts the noise to bed.
Yes.
About what's good, who's going to be the quarterback next season, what's going to happen next season, all this one. Tua, the Dolphins have picked up his 2024 option, which means he already was going to play next year. But this means he's on the books for the year after, and for the amount of $24.2 million. So before I put my 2 cents in there, I want you, Hank, to tell me why you love or hate that the Dolphins have picked up his 5th-year option, sir.
You know, I can't say whether I love or hate, but let me tell you, this shuts up all the haters. I'm not, I say this all the time. I'm not pro Tua. I'm not con Tua. He's our quarterback, period. He's our quarterback, folks. Get used to the idea. You'd be stupid not to pick up the 5th-year option, to be totally honest with you. You're getting pennies on the dollar for a quarterback who last year was number 1 in a bunch of categories. So why wouldn't you want to pick up the 5th-year option other than his injury concerns? You know, and if he winds up getting a concussion or something like that happens this year, I have a funny feeling that they'll press to remove him, or he might be pressed himself to give it up. But I understand why people are concerned about Tua, but you know what? Every quarterback gets hurt. Every quarterback gets hurt. You could sit here all day and say oh well, we're just going to go along with whatever goes on. No, Miami's not doing that. They saw the 5th-year option. They knew that it was possible to pick it up. Tua's a good player. I think he can be a top 5 quarterback if he stays healthy.
Hey, first off, Steve, Hammer Time, good to see you guys. Everyone tuning in, we appreciate
Hammer Time, fins up.
So let me just say this.
Oh, you love my drip, huh? Going
Hank,
school, little old-fashioned for you folks.
Hank is going styling and profile. I love that shirt. Those are my favorite style shirts right there. Love them.
It's like I'm going bowling.
There you go. Hey, that rolls, brother. So let me say why I liked the move and why it should have happened now. Okay. And why it's smart. First off, again, it ends the speculation of, are the Dolphins going to be on Tom Brady? Are they going to be on Aaron Rodgers before the season starts? Any of that noise. Okay. The Dolphins have said that this says that they are committed for Tua this season.
Yeah.
What it doesn't say is what's going to happen next year. This gives Tua an opportunity to say, okay, I'm the quarterback. I don't have to hear all this extra noise. Gives the Dolphins the opportunity to focus on building out the roster. All right. Build the roster around him. He proved last year what I had, and I'm, if you know me, I've had questions on Tua. And again, I'm a Dolphins fan. I'm not a Tua-non, not a Tua hater. I am a Dolphins fan. He's the quarterback, but I have my questions. I hold him to expectations. And he answered a lot of questions last season with his play. There are still questions if he had. Can he last a full season? He hasn't so far. Can he be successful against top 10 defenses? That's something for next year. But he's proven that he could be a reliable, good starting quarterback in the NFL. The Dolphins have a good starting quarterback at a very good price. In 2024, you got him at $24.2 million. Think about this. And I'm not a hater on Daniel Jones, the quarterback at the Giants. I'm not. I like him. I do. I'm not one of these people who smash on him. But who would you rather have? Daniel Jones at 40 whatever plus $1 million a year, or Tua at $24.2 million a year?
Yeah.
Okay. It's
crazy. It's peanuts.
Exactly.
It's peanuts.
Bobby expects one thing: inconsistency. But I will say is that you got him at 24.2. This settles the question of quarterback, but it doesn't mean that, oh my gosh, now 2024 we got to go to one more year.
No,
he'll be on the roster in 2024, but it doesn't mean he has to be the starter in 2024. You could trade him on the penny, and you could go and draft the quarterback next season only if Tua doesn't answer these questions and Miami says, you know what? But here's the blessing in disguise. Now Miami focuses on their roster. They go settle their defense. Maybe they go draft a running back. They get their tight end. Guess what? The whole roster is built out to compete next year with Tua at quarterback. If Tua doesn't succeed, you go get that quarterback to be successful with this upcoming roster.
Exactly. So Miami put themselves in a win-win situation, Bobby.
Yes, they did. They're in a win-win situation.
I mean, how do you lose out on $23 million,
Hey, it's a great scenario. I
love it. I love it. And the best part is if Tua gets hurt or something goes wrong this year and he doesn't come through, we know we'll have a new quarterback in 2024.
And that right there, Steve, of all people, Steve Malloy of Real Talk Fits Talk, who is a big critic of Tua, but because he doesn't hate Tua, he's a diehard Dolphins fan, but he has high expectations. But he's been one of the biggest critics. He even says it's a better move. It's a good move. So that tells you that it was a good move.
Yeah.
So I don't hate it. Hammer Time says, I am 2-on. Love the label, Bobby. They will be in a great position. Hammer Time. So it is a good thing. And so let's talk about other moves the Miami Dolphins made yesterday, Fish Tank. We talked about it. They were under or over the cap at $16 million, which means they couldn't do a damn thing in free agency. They couldn't do a damn thing in the draft or whatever because they couldn't sign nobody. So we expected them to do some moves to make that up. So what did they do? The first thing they do is they cut or they put a cut designation on Byron Jones. He'll be, I think, think it's post June. Was it June 1st cut or March, something like that? Maybe Evan will pop it up in the comments. But they're going to cut Byron Jones. That saves you about $13 million on the cap. Then they go ahead and restructure Terran Armstead and Tyreek Hill. Now, with that cut and those saves, that gets you close to about $42-45 million in cap space. All right. Some people have this a little different. They say, well, if you go, okay, post June 1st, thank you. Confirm March 15th. But this gives you the opportunity, the Dolphins, you got to figure out what you're going to do with Agba. Somebody asked me last night, can the Dolphins find a trade partner for Agba? I think it's going to be very hard to find a partner for Agba because of his contract. Because of his contract, I don't think teams are willing to give up much. If the Dolphins could, I think the Dolphins would. It's not because I love Agba. If Agba is on this team next year, I'm going to be very happy because he is a damn good edge rusher. Yeah. But I could see the reason why when you're trying to go younger or there's other players that could fill that role at the cheap, then you would go that route. But if the Dolphins cut themselves in a corner with that contract, they might be stuck with it, but I don't think that's a bad thing. You still have enough money to fill the holes because, Hank, my best case scenario here, there is one player that I want Miami to get. And it's not through free agency. It's through a trade. We're going to talk on that. But you know me, I told you I don't want to see really any big splashes this year. I'd rather them go get these bargain players, fill out your roster with capable players, but not on the big contracts, 15, 20, 30, whatever a year. Go get these bargain players, get the bolts and the nails, fix your ship, and then make splashes via the draft. Get best player available. Fill the holes in free agency, best player available in the draft. What do you think this means for Miami? What is this telling you when you look at Miami's cap situation right now, which a lot of people now are going, hey, Miami could be players in free agency now. When you look at this free agency or the cap situation, 40, 50, some people say $60 million in available cap space. What does this say to you? Is Miami going to go crazy at free agency now?
Yes.
Okay.
Miami is going to go nuts in free agency, but I don't know that they're going to do that. Like you said, I don't really see a big player splash, not with as many needs as we have. We have a lot of needs and not a lot of draft picks. And even if you draft players in the second and third rounds, that doesn't necessarily mean they're starters. So you got to fill in the holes. One of our holes, which we all know, is either left guard or center. You can move the current center to the left guard and bring in a center if you want. You could do that easily through the draft. But, if they go out and pick up a center, that's just a small move. Or if they go out and pick up a left guard, that's another small move. How about right tackle, though? What are they going to do there? They might have to pay a little extra to get a right tackle. So it might cost us some money to secure Tua's blind side. So it's kind of back and forth, in my opinion.
So I'll just say this very quick, because I think you're right. And that's the way I want them to go. I want them to be diligent. I want them to be smart. I don't want to really, I don't want to put the bank on any one player, really, or two players. But I could see them, and I know, is it Braxton Barrios, right? Who's who you're talking about, Evan? I think Evan sent me a picture this morning of Braxton Barrios. So I assume that's the returner he would like Miami to bring in. But McGlinchey is the right tackle for the San Francisco 49ers. Obviously, connection there with Mike McDaniel makes a lot of sense. I don't know what his contract would bring, but I'm not against that move. I know a lot of people are, but I think it fits nicely. He is a starting veteran. He's a starting caliber right tackle. It makes a lot of sense. Jordan Poyer of the Buffalo Bills, a safety. He's been really pushing for to sign with Miami. It makes a lot of sense. Maybe he doesn't cost too much because he wants to be here. It's obvious.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny, Bobby?
What?
A lot of players are starting to say they want to be in Miami.
And you know what? I think that's why you see a lot of quarterbacks' names pop up for Miami, because a lot of quarterbacks behind the scenes, I think, are trying to find their way to Miami too.
I know. Why
You know?
wouldn't you? You'd be
Absolutely.
a fool not
Remember when we were talking about Tom Brady last season, I said it. I think Tom Brady was a big orchestrator of getting his name out there because why would he not want to play for the Dolphins with a Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle? But powers that be, it didn't happen. And now we're in this situation. And you know what? It's not a bad situation to be in considering the players we have on the team, the capable quarterback that we do have, whether you like him or not, he's a starting caliber quarterback. You have the money now to fill out the roster. The things, and other people have to realize too, it is 42, 50, 60, whatever it's going to be million. I think right now I have it at 42 from what I was estimating. You got to remember, you got to sign your draft class. You got to extend players. What players are we talking about? Christian Wilkins for one.
Yes.
Some people talked about a possible trade bait for more.
I hope not.
Zach Steeler's another guy we need to extend. So there are guys we do have to work on their contracts, and that will take up some of the cap. However, and whether you could give them right now a lower number, and it doesn't affect you really right now, and they have a bigger numbers as the season goes on, that's what kind of happens. The Dolphins could go ahead and sign a free agent at a big number this year, and then next season restructure his contract to make it more low end now, big end later. And that's kind of what they did with Tyreek and Jalen. And I have to say this, and I was talking to Rob of DolphinsThirsty.com. And if you're thirsty for Dolphins content, go check out DolphinsThirsty.com. Great site. But we were talking yesterday on the phone, and we discussed Stephen Ross. And a lot of people have hate on Stephen Ross. And a lot of people are praising Chris Greer for yesterday with these restructures in the cap space. But let me make this point perfectly clear. It's not Chris Greer's pockets that are getting hit with these restructures. It's not the Dolphins cap space that's getting hit with these restructures. It is Stephen Ross. Because what do the Dolphins do? How can the Dolphins restructure these contracts so that way the signing bonus is really big and the cap hit is very small? Stephen Ross has to sign some big-ass checks from his bank account in order to go, hey, Tyreek, here's whatever, how many million. We'll pay you right now. So that way we can make this, like, next year your contract hit is whatever, 1 million, 2 million, whatever it is. People have to start giving. I understand the criticisms of Stephen Ross, what he's done, but you have to actually be damn thankful for that owner because he wants to win.
Yeah.
He
Give
wants,
me a break,
it's not just
Bobby.
the facilities.
He always opens up his checkbook, Bobby.
That's right.
He never closes that sucker up. He wants the best for this team. He always has. He always will. And, he might not make some of the right moves, and he might do boneheaded things like talk to players he shouldn't and lose us draft picks. But, yeah, he's done some boneheaded things, but he always pays the bills.
That's right. And the whole thing with, Harbaugh, Tom Brady, Sean Payton, whatever, these situations that came out that, he's tampering. But you know what? Everybody does that. He was just not smart enough to be smart about it, and he got caught. But a lot of teams do that and tamper. He got caught. Doesn't matter. What I see is a guy who's trying to win. He goes out, talks to Tom Brady. Why does he talk to Tom Brady, Fish Tank? Is it just so because he wants to feel better? No, he wants to win. Why would he go to California and talk to a John Harbaugh or a Jim Harbaugh? Why would he do that? He wants to win.
Yep.
Go to Sean Payton. Hey, Sean, we just fired Flores, or we're going to look into firing Flores. Why does he do it? He wants to win. Why does he sign all these big-ass checks to save the Dolphins cap so they could go into free agency? It's not Chris Greer signing these checks. It's Stephen Ross, because Ross wants to win. Dolphin fans, you want to win? Be thankful you have an owner like Stephen Ross who's willing to do it. The only issue Ross has is that sometimes he hires the wrong people. He signs the checks. Let's just hope Greer does the right things with those checks and with that cap space. That's all I want to say. We got to start giving Ross his flowers, people. That's all I'm saying.
Bobby, I'm right there with you. I like having Ross as an owner. I'm not one of the people that slam down on him or cut his legs out from under him. He's doing the best he can, and not everybody walks into it and they can be Jerry Jones and have all that success that Jerry Jones had
Listen,
in the
yep.
beginning is when Jerry Jones had it, was in the beginning, but look at how he's failing now. You know, he shouldn't be involved in things he's involved in, but that's okay. Jerry Jones wants to do it.
Absolutely. And, you know,
So
the
I'm
thing
glad
is,
we don't have an owner like that.
absolutely no. And, you know, I'm glad we don't have an owner who just sits on his hands. You know, you could see the best of both worlds. If the ones who sit on their hands, they could be very strenuous and cheap and whatever, but they could hire the best people and know how to do their job.
Yep.
If you gave Stephen Ross, if you put Stephen Ross's pockets and you hired Ozzie Newsome of the Baltimore Ravens when he was a general manager who knows how to draft and knows how to sign, we'd have Super Bowl winners. You know, but sometimes you can't have the best of both worlds. And Chris Greer is learning as he goes. Maybe he finally figures it out this year and we have a winner next year or a winner in 24. But with the owner, he's not going to be the one who holds us back. And when people say that, it really drives me crazy. He's not the one that's going to hold us back. What's up, Fins Up 1971? Good morning, sir. Thank you for tuning in. You guys are watching Fins Talk today on the Fins Talk Sports Network. Hank and I have been rolling here. We've been talking about the cap restructures. The Dolphins are over to 42, 45, whatever, how many, every million they're up on cap. Tua's been not extended, but his option has been picked up. It's just a lot of moves going on in Miami. The offseason starting to look a little bit exciting for the Dolphins. And I hate to say it, but could they be offseason champs again? Hey, they're undefeated in the offseason. So let's just hope it turns into a regular season win. Let's continue our conversation, Fish Tank.
Yes, sir.
I discussed, you know, like you were saying earlier, is what I've been preaching as well. I don't want to see too many.
Hey, I don't know if you should call me Fish Tank anymore.
Oh, really? What's wrong?
Steve Malloy says that I'm 1B.
1B?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It says it right there in the comments. That's what it said, that I'm 1B.
Oh, well, maybe he could see what he means by that. But all right, 1B. So as we go on, breaking news: Ross has.
You just transitioned right into
Okay,
that. Okay, good. 1B.
All right, Ron. Hey, I'm rolling, brother. I keep going. Hey, let's talk about about what splash move. Even though I said I'd rather them just kind of even out. You know, Jordan Porter makes a lot of sense. Mike McGlinchey, right tackle for San Francisco, makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of players that hopefully, you know, I don't know about those guys, but there are players on free agency that we could explore that won't probably be big hits. We did it last year. We're going to do it again. Maybe sometimes we would. Next week is going to be pretty big. Monday is the tampering period. So we're going to see how it plays out. But, you know, I'm in Nashville, basically, Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah, and I'm over here in
Orlando, beautiful Orlando,
Florida.
That's right. I know. So it's a little chilly for me and it's nice and warm for you, but that's okay. But let me just say this. Oh, Hank is number 1B. Evan is number 1. Okay.
See,
interesting.
I'm always in second place. You know that?
That's interesting. Okay. So, all right, 1B. So here we go. Fish tank. So there's one. I was listening to sports radio driving into work one day. And I heard this was before any kind of news broke or anything else. What's up, G? Dolphins in a shootout. Our opponents got automatic weapons. We got a 38 special, lots of ammunition, but we gotta be perfect to win. Every shot counts. We consistently reloading 2 a time. It's gonna be very interesting next year. Let's see what they could add in draft and free agency.
Oh, I can't wait. Free agency frenzy tomorrow, isn't it?
Monday. It's
Monday. It's Monday. I knew it was coming soon.
Yeah, we got some good stuff on Monday. We got on the Beer and Sports podcast. They start at noon Eastern, and they're gonna have NFL insider Ben Albright on. So that's gonna start it off, and then we got a special edition of Huddle Up and Wait rolling right after, which is pretty good. The follow up on the free agency frenzy. But one of the players, while I'm here, Fish Tank, I heard, you know, they brought up Derrick Henry as a possible because the Titans have been really cutting a lot of good players. Ben Jones, the center, who I would not hate. What's up, Jason? Fins up from New Mexico. Good to see you, brother. Todd's in the house.
Right on. Fins up, Jason.
Good to see you guys. But I was listening to radio. They cut a lot of good players. Robert Woods just signed with the Texans. They got Tannehill on the books. They haven't figured out what they're going to do with him, but I don't think they could do much. But they've been cutting a lot of good players. Bud Dupree, Ben Jones, Tyler Lewan, a left tackle. But the guy said, I have this suspicion that they may be moving. They might be interested in moving Derrick Henry. And I said, that's interesting. So I said, let me research that before I say anything. Because, my ears perked up. And I researched it, and I said, oh, my goodness. He's been hanging out with Von Miller, the Buffalo Bills. He was asking about the Patriots during the AFC the Pro Bowl. I said, holy crap. So I said, you know what? I posted a tweet that blew up, which I didn't expect it to. It was just my opinion. And I said, man, if the Dolphins are thinking about trading for like a Jalen Ramsey or anybody else, they better be interested in looking into a Derrick Henry. And I threw that out there, and I said, because if you really want to help Tua, if you really want to help your young quarterback, I'm trying to reinstate my bandwagon membership, Bobby. Oh, that makes sense. All right, Steve, it makes sense now. All right, that's why, Fish Tank. I see it now. Okay.
You got the writing on the wall?
He got kicked off the bandwagon last week. He's trying to get back on. Anyway, so I posted that tweet. It blew up a lot. People loved it. People hated it. Titan fans were getting on it. And I said, hey, it's just my opinion. I think the Dolphins should consider it. You want to help out Tua? You want to help out your passing offense? You get yourself a running back like Derrick Henry. You do yourself a favor. Remember what the Dolphins were able to do with a Jay Ajayi. Remember what Ryan Tannehill was able to do with a Derrick Henry going to the AFC Championship game. Imagine that. So, and people go, oh, but Derrick Henry can't succeed with the Dolphins' offensive line. Hold on a second. I'm sorry. What was the Titans' offensive line rated last year? I watched them. They sucked. You want to know where they were ranked, Fish Tank? 32nd overall. You want to know what the Dolphins' offensive line was ranked last year, Fish Tank?
30th?
No, 24. Yeah, 24. You want to know how many yards Mr. Derrick Henry at 29 years old rushed for?
Yeah.
He was 13, 15 yards, 100 yards plus, 13 touchdowns.
Wow.
Okay.
Bobby, you just mentioned something that worries me.
Go ahead.
And that's age. He's 29, like you said.
Yeah.
He's 29 years old. He's taken a lot of beatings. And if you catch Henry in the backfield, a lot of times he's not the type of back that just quickly gets away. He's a bruiser. But if you're tackling him low and you get him in the backfield, he's going down. And he doesn't have the same speed that others do to get out of that. And that's the only knock that I have against Derrick Henry is his age. And that's it.
So
that's it. Otherwise, okay. I want him on the team.
I get you. Okay, so 29 years old, ran for, and let me look up the number because I don't want to get it wrong. But I watched him last year, and there was no really stopping him in the backfield because those damn legs of his urged on through, and he was okay. Here it is, 2022, 29 years old. He rushed for 1,538 yards, 13 touchdowns. He caught 33 passes for 398 yards. All right. He is, make sure I get his age right so I don't get that wrong.
We'll just say 29.
6'3", 247 pounds. Wow. Fish Tank, he did that with a 32nd ranked offensive line, often injured, a huge embarrassment, terrible. Imagine what he could do with that offensive line, which will improve this year. I trust McDaniel and what he says, why he trusts his offensive line. And we did see some improvements last year. Look what Raheem Mostert did, who's a stick compared to Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
If you really want to help your offense, if you want a balanced offense, and Jason Starvos, I'm sure Henry, Tua, Waddle, they're all Alabama guys. They're all boys. Henry and Raheem would be thunder and lightning. Absolutely. if there's one player, and I know Dalvin Cook is another name out there, Minnesota Vikings running back, hometown guy.
I'd take Henry first.
I would take Henry over Cook. That's just my thing. I wouldn't hate Cook. If the Dolphins got Cook, I would love it. But Henry is the guy. If you're going to go big at running back, which that's the route I would love them to take, that's roll. That's how I'd roll. I'm explaining
How's
myself.
Henry's catching out of the backfield?
33 receptions, 398 yards last year. Pretty damn good. Okay?
Yeah.
For a running back. But again, then if you have Raheem Mostert, you really don't have to worry about that too much because then you got that, thunder and lightning. And look, it doesn't rule out the Dolphins drafting a running back. I believe Greer when he says that he may go ahead and draft a running back earlier than he did. And that means either the second, third, or the 2/3, he's going to take a running back with that pick. And I'm okay with that. But, Bobby, why are you out? Why am I protesting outside your house? I don't know what you're saying. Bobby, you are convincing me about Henry. Look, I'm telling you, I'm all on board. What I love about it, though, is I brought this up just as bits and giggles. And a few days later, comes out, Titans are listening to offers on Derrick Henry, and comes out, Dolphins are one of the betting favorites to land Derrick Henry. Because guess what? Before they drafted Kenyon Drake back in 2016, they wanted Derrick Henry. But they drafted some other dude and messed it all up. And they ended up drafting Kenyon Drake. When Drake was about to be a free agent, when Derrick Henry was going to be a free agent before he extended, the Dolphins were interested in looking into him. Well, now he's on the table again. So just putting the dots together, and if it happens, if the Dolphins are actually interested, I'm saying go get that deal done. Send in our 51st pick. Send in our next year's second round pick. Go get Derrick Henry, and you got yourself a freaking dangerous offense. Who cares who's the quarterback at that point? You got Derrick Henry, Tyreek Hill, and Jalen Waddle. Come on, man.
Wouldn't matter.
Cat, what's up?
You're not stopping it.
He's basically on a 2-year contract, Steve. He's on a 2-year contract.
You can't stop him on a third. Like you said, you can't stop him on a 32nd ranked offense.
How a lot of fans were pissed off, and I'll talk about Evan. When a lot of fans were pissed off when it was 3rd and short, 4th and 1, and then they would pass the ball.
Yep.
Because Mike McDaniel couldn't trust his running game for whatever reason, or was just a prisoner of the passing game. You think you're going to be a prisoner of the passing game if Derrick Henry's your running back? It's 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, 3rd and goal, 4th and goal. What are you going to do? Run the ball.
Give the ball to Henry.
That's right. So that is my plea. That is who I'm banging this table for. Nobody else but Derrick Henry. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But I'm saying, and again, Dalvin Cook, great name, great player, hometown boy. I wouldn't be mad with that move. I'd be excited for it too because I think the Dolphins need to get themselves a true big name running back, but they need to get it done. But Derrick Henry's my guy. If you're going to tell me one of the guys, it's Derrick Henry. There's plenty of running backs to talk about. And let's roll into the running backs with the draft fish tank. Chris Greer has been accused of not liking the draft running backs early, but history has shown otherwise. Chris Greer stated recently that he would not be opposed to drafting a running back earlier than he used to if McDaniel likes the back. Let's talk about these running backs very quick, and let's talk about running backs that you would possibly be interested in.
Well, let's talk about the fact, you believe that Miami has done its due diligence in running backs. I don't think they ever have. I don't think that they've actually ever done a great job in the draft. While Chris Greer is there, they're always picking late picks, like 7th rounders and stuff like that. They don't pick early running backs at all. So for me, when was the last time they picked somebody 3rd round, like back in 2016 or 2018? Come on.
2016, they drafted Kenyon Drake in the 3rd round. 2018, they drafted Kellen Ballage in the 4th round.
Yeah.
Taylor Cox was a fullback, drafted him in the 7th round. Gaskin, 7th round. Dokes in the 7th round.
Exactly. So what I just said is true.
Yeah, well, it's on the paper. I know. So,
I'm not looking at a paper. I'm just talking to you.
Let me ask you this. I think Miami is doing their due diligence at running back because they have to. It's time. Don't hold your team back. Do your damn homework. Okay. And I think they are.
You know, like you said, I really hope they go out and get somebody. But if they don't,
yes.
round 2, pick 51.
Yes.
I have somebody that I like.
Ooh, give me a name. Ooh. All right, go for it.
All right. This guy is out of UCLA. And I hope I don't butcher his name, but you know I will. Charbonnet.
All right.
Zach Charbonnet. I like this guy. He has a great rating, overall grade on PFF of like 92 or something like that, just to give people an idea. You know, usually you're in the 90s, you're a definite go person. He doesn't go to the ground. He stiff arms. He dead legs, shimmies, you name it. And he has it in his arsenal, is my point.
Yes.
He's not a little guy. He's 6'1", 220. So he's 22 years old. He's a senior. He's got experience.
Love it.
If you can't get a Derrick Henry, if you go at pick 52, that's who I'd target at 52.
It's 51, and I think you're right on.
Well, 50, yeah. The simulators change from 51 to 52.
Pro Football,
my bad.
I know where you see it. It's Pro Football Focus, I believe, and they have it wrong because I did some research on that too. It's 51, but that's okay. No, Zach Charbonnet out of UCLA, he is a thumper. Okay, love his size, great back. You know, this is the one thing we were talking about it yesterday. Evan was saying how it's not a deep draft class, but I think he meant more quarterback. And in regards of the quarterback position, no, but at running back, corner, and tight end, this is a very deep class. Okay, what's up, John? Good to see you, Adam. Fins up, man. Appreciate you. And
that's 3 of our needs.
That's 3 of our needs. You get yourself a really good Julius Brents as a corner at Kansas State. Love him. Charbonnet. I talked about Chase Brown out of Illinois last night. Israel Abanikanda from Pitt. I like him a lot. You could probably get him in the later round. There is a lot of good backs that you could get, and you know what? I'm okay with that. If we can get ourselves, if Chris Kerr would say, "Hey, look, we're going to target running back in the draft with one of our 2 third-round picks or a second-round pick," then okay, we don't have to spend a pick on Henry. Okay. But, or, maybe the second round pick, you don't know, is any of those backs going to be better than Derrick Henry next year? I highly doubt it. But I'm absolutely on board with drafting a running back early. This running back this class has a lot of,
there's somebody else I like too, that's controversial.
Who's that?
And that would be a later pick that you're talking year 77, year 84, somewhere around
third
there
round
on
pick.
the board.
Okay.
And that would be Dwayne McBride. I like Dwayne McBride.
Talk to me about him.
He's 5'11", 215. He's a 2-down back, though. That's what I don't like, is he's a 2-down back. But with our backfield, that could be okay, being we have a fullback. But we don't use the fullback that way. So, like you said, I'd rather have a bigger bruiser like a Derrick Henry or a Charbonnet. But McBride has troubles hanging on to the ball, and he has no real pass catching experience. Those are his 2 negatives. But other than that, I just think that he's spicy. He gets spicy when he touches the rock. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it's just like he gets moving when it's time. I like Dwayne McBride. Like I said, he'd be more of a later pick, at 84, maybe something like that. But
so some of these backs, I think that's a great name. McBride out of UAB. You got, of course, Robinson's going to go. I think he's going to go very early. That dude is one of those generational type backs. Teams love him. He's going to go in the first round, which is rare now. Jahmyr Gibbs is another one out of Alabama. Can catch, can run. He's fast. He's probably going late first, early second. Charbonnet, perfect for 51. Could be there. Another player I like, Condre Miller out of TCU, Ty J. Spears out of Tulane, Sean Tucker, brought up Chase Brown out of Illinois. The Texas running mate for John Robinson is Rashawn Johnson. That dude could have been a starter anywhere in college football. He's the backup there. He could be a big get later on in the draft. There are so many names, Fish Tank.
If they're looking in the 7th round, they even have players in the 7th round.
They have yes, they do.
You got Kenny McIntosh. You got Chris Rodriguez Jr. out of UK.
Kentucky, yep.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I mean, I like what's there throughout the draft. So, I mean, I've looked from round 2 down to 7, and I've looked. There's plenty of running backs, folks. Plenty. Somebody needs to do their homework in the scouting department and make sure that they pick one up this year.
They got to pick one up, and hopefully it's one we're talking about. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to. There's a guy, you know what? There's one guy that people probably are not talking about who I absolutely love, and I mocked him a couple weeks ago, but he's more of like, he is a multi-position player, and that's Hunter Luque. And gosh, it's one of the Dakota State universities, North or South Dakota State University. But he is a fullback, running back. He actually, he reminds me a lot of the fullback out of San Francisco. But when that dude, first off, as a runner, I watched a lot of his film. He runs with so much power behind those legs. Guys are on his back. They can't stop him. But you want to know where his forte is, what he really is good at, and that is catching the football. And I think he would be a perfect fit. Yeah. Yes, I did. When Evan writing, when I research a player, I make sure they've been injured before, or else the Finns will pass on them. Yes, Chris Greer loves the injured players. It's a good one. I don't know which Dakota State. That's what I was saying. I don't have it in front of me. He's one of the Dakota States, but I'm telling
Central Dakota.
No, it's not Central Dakota. But Hunter Luque, guys, Steve. I'm telling you, tune into him. I could see Mike McDaniel falling in love with that guy just because he's had that type of fullback in San Francisco, and he signed that type of fullback with Alec Ingold, who's still on contract for Miami. But this guy could be your third back. You could fit him in at the tight end position as well. I like him a lot. That's right. That was a great stat about Derrick Henry rushing for 1,300 yards with a 32nd ranked offensive line. Yes, he did. That's why
Evan,
people
you've always been funny to me. You're hilarious.
Hilarious. He's a freaking comedic genius. That's what I did. When people were telling me, with Derrick Henry with this offensive line, he won't be as successful. Did you see the Tennessee Titans offensive line? Did you see the Tennessee Titans offense with no receivers? So imagine
that
with a Tyreek Hill and a Jalen Waddle with a accurate quarterback like Tua when he's healthy.
And who else is in the backfield with him?
Yeah, who's that? Who did they go? Did they go bring back Mozart? Did they bring in Jeff Wilson? Or did they go again and draft a running back? Think about that. The Miami Dolphins, if you go ahead and then you go draft a tight end, what if you go and you trade one of your seconds, but then in the 3rd round, man, we didn't get a tight end. Who are we going to get? Okay. And I know they talked about Dalton Schultz possibly being on $1, which I love. I plugged him in for Miami last year. He could be available now from the Cowboys. Love it. But if they don't, Tucker Kraft, another one of those Dakota State universities. And then you got Schoonmaker out of Michigan. Central Dakota, we'll just roll with that. Schoonmaker out of Michigan. Zach Kuntz out of Old Dominion, which is one of Dave Stager's guys. There's a lot of good tight ends in this draft as well. Miami has the opportunity this offseason to really plug up the holes on this football team. That's why, like I'm saying, I understand everybody's obsession with the quarterback position. It's the most important position, and I understand the question marks. I get it. I'm with you on some of those things. But the quarterback position is not the biggest problem for the Dolphins. Tua,
not even
not
close.
The biggest issue with these Dolphins. Let the Dolphins figure out everything else. Let Tua play it out next year. And if he gets hurt again, he only plays 13 games, 12 games, 14 games. He misses a playoff game. If that happens, then I will bang the table. I will stop being nice. I will bang the table. Fish Tank will know it. He will expect it. And I will say, no, we have everything else. It's time to make the change. It's time to do it. But until
that's
then, we are okay. We're fine.
That's a big if we fix cornerback, if we fix linebacker, if we fix left guard, if we fix right tackle, and we fix running back. That's 5 positions that we need help at. Now, you can get at least 2 of those in the draft, at least 2, possibly 3 if you draft really good. So that only leaves us with 2 to 3 to get. And you're going to have to get at least 2 in free agency, in my opinion, if not 3.
What's up, Leo? Leo says, keep Mozart, send Wilson down the road. I'm with you. I think, and I have nothing against Wilson. He did very well when we traded for him for the first couple games, but then he kind of fell between the cracks. But Mozart, when he had the ball in his hands, was making plays. And he's one of those guys, and I know it's a running joke now with Dolphin fans and Dolphins is when healthy, because that's always key with our players, quarterback, running back, whatever. It's when he's healthy. But when Mozart was healthy, and look, Mozart was with us the whole year, and he had 800 plus yards. So that's pretty damn good. It's not great.
Yeah.
It's not, we want 1,000. We want a Balkel back, but that's pretty damn good for that running back. Wilson had 800 yards as well, but that was with San Francisco and Miami, but not, I think more with San Francisco. So I'm with it. I'm not against keeping both of them.
King Short.
I'm not against keeping both of them. But if you're going to tell me one of them, Leo, I'm going with you. I'm with you on keeping Mozart and dropping Wilson, and then go and draft in the back, or go get my dude, King Henry. King Short's in the house. That's a sign. We're getting King Henry.
I like your thinking, Bobby.
Thank you.
If that's all it takes, I'm going to start typing King in the
That's right.
comments.
Let me tell you, if we end up actually getting Derrick Henry via trade, I'm gonna be live. I'm gonna be dancing. I'm gonna be screaming. I'm gonna go woo. Be
Fins
like
up,
Flair.
Cap. Fins
be
up.
Like Ric Flair. So Cap for life in the house. Always good to see him. Love it. And I mean, let me thank everybody for tuning in. Yo, there you go. Finn's Table Talk. If you don't know who Finn's Table Talk is, that's the fish tank. Every Sunday morning, when you get your cup of coffee, tune into YouTube, the Finn's Table Talk, or Twitter. He's on live on Twitter. Him and his lovely wife, Miss Kelly, talking with their cheetah cat. That's how big of a Dolphin fan Fish Tank is. He has a cheetah as a pet. You think I'm freaking kidding? Wait till if he finds it, when he catches it, it's in there. He showed me he has a freaking cheetah. Okay, he showed me the other day. The dude is that. I told him, Hank, you got to stop. I know you're a fan. Just chill, dude. He's like, no, Bobby, I'm getting it. I got a cheetah. Next week, he's gonna go get a penguin. His wife retired. They're going to the Arctic. They're gonna get themselves a penguin. He is rolling. Rolling.
And I named my cat Tyreek.
That's right.
And it's a girl.
That's right. What's up, Flip Flop? Oh, there it is. There's the cheetah. Look at this. Look at the cheetah. Hold on. Show them the stripes, man. Look at this. Got a freaking cheetah. Oh my gosh. I love it.
Look how long he is, too.
That's right.
He's only 4 months.
What's up, Tyreek?
He is fast.
He runs like Tyreek.
He runs like Tyreek. It's perfect. And like Steve says, guys, we're having a lot of fun here. We're having a blast.
Fins up,
Beautiful
flip side.
Saturday. Flip side in the house. Again, watching Fins Talk today on the Fins Talk Sports Network. Smash that like and subscribe button. Like the great Steve Malloy says, share with your friends, your family, your neighbors, your cousins, your mothers, your brothers, your sisters. Share with it. We have a blast on the Fins Talk Sports Network. Fish Tank and I going nuts. Check out Fish Tank tomorrow morning. It's a lot of fun. They don't take up too much time. I think it's like 15 minutes, right?
No, we only do a 10 or 15 minute spot, Bobby. We just want to talk about the current events and maybe some things that were on our minds. And my wife was a Jets fan because her father was a diehard Jets fan, and we're both originally from New York. So how I wound up being a Dolphins fan, I don't know. I was born into it, but she has a lot that she's learning now that she's doing. And she makes a lot of good points to me at home and says, well, what about so-and-so? Or how about if they do this? Or, because I'll tell her, yeah, I might talk about this guy, and she'll go read up on him and then come back and ask me some questions. Not like I know the answers by any means, but she'll ask me some questions. And 9 out of 10 times she has valid points and brings them up on the show. So if you want another perspective other than mine, my wife has a good perspective of it also as a newer Dolphins fan.
Leo, she is a Dolphins fan now. I promise you, I guarantee you, she is a dive. She's no longer a Jets fan, my man. Hank has converted her. I know it. And let me just say about Miss Kelly very quick, because I've seen it now. You've shown me a couple weeks back. She does her homework, fellas. She has taken up a whole wall in the house. She is hardcore. She knows everything about anything. That's why Fish Tank, when he says something, she goes, hold on, Hank. Puts out a piece of paper. No, Hank, that is not the point. Right now, she knows her stuff. So tune in tomorrow. She knows her crap. And any points you got,
she does.
Incomparable Fish Tank Hank. Great stuff. So King Shark McGlitchy will be a Dolphin. From your lips to God's ears, fella. I dated a Patriots fan. Didn't work.
Well, you know what? It took me a few years, but now she's branded with a dolphin tattoo and stuff like that. So, she doesn't have a choice anymore.
There you go. Oh, gosh. Let me just go ahead. Let's see. Flip side fishing. Man, so happy you're tuning in, brother. Todd, what's going on? Flipside says, I like what you guys were saying today. I feel like if we use this formula, we need to build this team like the 2002 Buccaneers. I feel like Tua is the equivalent to Brad Johnson. So great defense. If we could get that defense rolling and it put better talent than the offensive Buccaneers. But I get what you're saying. If you build out the roster to be very strong, and look, guys, and I'll just say this, and again, everybody, if you've been tuning in, you know how I feel and what I've said about Tua and everything else. But he answered a lot of questions last year. Tua's better than what Brad Johnson was. So when Tua's healthy, if he's healthy, and with that type of roster, even if he's not healthy, let's say he goes out, Derrick Henry, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, whoever you got at tight end as a rookie, that defense with Vic Fangio, if it's Skyler or whatever backup, which I think a backup quarterback is an option for the Dolphins, it doesn't matter who your quarterback is at that point. And I'm not knocking any of our quarterbacks, but it doesn't matter because you have so much talent. And guess what? Oh, we have to rely on Skyler being our quarterback now. Tua's out. Guess what?
You don't gotta rely on a quarterback.
Run the ball. You got Derrick Henry. Run the ball. That's what I'm saying.
Todd says. I like what Todd's saying. King Henry, Wagner, and Poyer.
I would be thrilled. Yes, absolutely. I'm down with that.
I said we needed 2 or 3. I'd take those 3 just like that.
And then you would have to give up a draft pick. I'm absolutely. People go, oh, you really want to give up a second round pick for Derrick Henry? You're damn right, I would.
Yes,
freaking Henry, brother. It's Derrick Henry.
Of course you give up a second round pick for him.
Because guess what? Can you guarantee that 51 overall pick is going to be better than what Derrick Henry is right now?
No way.
Absolutely not.
There is no way you can say that you'll pick somebody better than Derrick Henry at 50-something. No.
We were looking at I was looking at some of those 51st overall picks, and the one player, there was a few of them. Cam Jurgens was there, offensive lineman. This was history, Hank. And the Titans, they drafted A.J. Brown, who's now the Philadelphia Eagles wide receiver. He is breaking news: Wingate, Legacy, and Stager have kidnapped Lamar Jackson. Okay, but so 51st pick, you can get a good player. But there's no player that you could tell me, unless somebody falls from the top 5 of the first round, there's no player worth 51 that's going to be better than what Derrick Henry could do for this offense. So if the Dolphins are betting favorites for Derrick Henry, then go do the job. I mean, I might start becoming a defender of Chris Greer, and everybody knows I'm a critic. I might be on the flip side of that. They get King Henry. But all right.
Hey, Bobby.
Yes.
I got a question for you.
Of course you do.
What do you think about the one-day signing of Mike Pouncey?
I like it. I think it's pretty cool. I'm excited for Mike Pouncey. I think he deserved it. One of the better offensive linemen we've had in years as a center. He did his job. It was great. But, and I don't want to take anything away from Pouncey, I think there's a guy that they should have done that a little while longer ago. who I think I don't want to say more deserving, but maybe equally deserving, would be Cam Wake. When are we going to sign Cam Wake to a one-day deal to retire as a Miami Dolphin? I'd love to see that.
Kidding.
I'm happy to see Mike Pouncey, but I want to see Cam Wake. He is a Miami Dolphin through and through. I'd love to see him. Great for Mike Pouncey. Deserves it. Damn happy for it, Fish Tank. But let's get Cam Wake done.
I got to agree with you on that. 91 was something else. So
he was freaking great. Out of the CFL, out of Evan's neck of the woods. I think he signed with the Giants or was drafted by the Giants, but didn't work out. Went to the CFL, blew it up, came to the Dolphins and blew it up. We were losing. We lost Jason Taylor. He came in and filled that hole pretty damn freaking good. One of the best Dolphin defenders that I think that we've ever had. He deserves to retire as a Dolphin and maybe could be in the Ring of Honor. I don't know, but I just definitely should be retired as a Dolphin.
I don't compare their style of play, but I compare their level of play, and I think he's right up there with JT.
Ooh, okay. Controversial take. I like it.
Jason
Taylor's my favorite player for the Dolphins.
He had that intensity and drive all the time.
You know what? He was a difference maker. That was the one thing about him. He won us games. I mean, I think about that Cincinnati Bengals game when it was overtime and he sacked Andy Dalton in the end zone. It was a fumble. I mean, it was a safety, and we won that game. I just love what Cameron Wake was amazing. And I don't want to take away from Mike Pouncey. Pouncey was great for us, and it sucked to see him sign with the Chargers and play for another team, just like it sucked to see Cameron Wake on the Titans, just like it sucked to see Jason Taylor on the Jets and the Redskins and Zach Thomas on the Cowboys. It sucked watching those guys. It sucks looking at your star players on other teams, but that's how Cameron Wake was. He is equally, not equally as great, but he is one of the greats for us, in my opinion, and I think he should retire as a Miami Dolphin. Yeah, walk-off sack on Halloween, I'll never forget. Absolutely, flip side. That's what I'm talking about. So great question by Fish Tank. Guys, again, Fins Talk today on the Fins Talk Sports Network. Smash that like and subscribe button. Hank, before we close it out, any final words, my friend?
Yeah. I want to thank everybody from, look at that bald spot up there. It's getting long. No, I want to thank everybody for coming out. I had a great time today. And if you folks catch me tomorrow, that'd be great. I'm usually on Twitter at Fins to Win. And my wife and I do a show every Sunday also at 8 a.m. and it takes about 10 to 15 minutes. We don't like to make it long at all.
So there you go. If you guys want to get some, just listen in on Kelly and Fish Tank, Miss Fish Tank and Mr. Fish Tank, and maybe add in your are you trying to clean my ear? What are you doing?
I'm poking you.
You're poking me. Okay. If you want to go ahead and tune in and obviously make some comments, let them know that you're there, ask them some questions, have some fun. There was a lot of fun on this show. We had a blast. I appreciate everyone from Flipside, Steve, Leo, King Short, Todd,
Leo Brooks,
Evan, everybody, Ender, Leo. Thank you all for tuning in. John, we appreciate you. Again, if you're watching on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, do us a favor. First off, follow us on those pages, but also go to our YouTube page, smash that like and subscribe button. Come back to us next Saturday for Fins Talk today. We appreciate you. Like, subscribe, and always, most importantly, Dolphin fans, fins up.
Fins up.